For today's lesson, we will discuss Lesson 1 that talks about the introduction of literary genres. Hello there, grade 12 students! Welcome to our first lesson in creative nonfiction. I am Mary Ann Antolin Silorio, a senior high school teacher and your teacher in creative nonfiction. Please be reminded that after our discussion, I will be giving you a sort of assessments to test your learning. So find a comfortable place. Have your notebook and ballpen for noting important details. For today's lesson, we will discuss Lesson 1 that talks about the introduction of literary genres. At the end of this lesson, you should be able to define literary genres and differentiate creative nonfiction and fiction. What does genre mean? A genre is a French word which means a type or a kind. Like for example, the genre of a book is what? So class, a genre is a particular type of literature, painting, music, film, and other art forms which people considered as a class because it has special characteristics. So what is a literary genre? It is a literary composition characterized by a particular style, form, or content. It is also a category of literary composition determined by literary technique, zone, content, or even, as in the case of fiction length. The distinction genres and categories are flexible and loosely defined, often with subgroups. The most general genre in literature are in chronological order, can be on an epic, tragedy, comedy, creative nonfiction, and fiction. They can all be in the form of prose and poetry. So there are 5 major genres: fiction, nonfiction, drama or plays, folktale, and poetry. Writing nonfiction is about telling a true stories. You can tell a story about yourself or craft essays about personal experiences. You can also write other people, places, events in the world. Creative nonfiction requires that you write true and factual narratives, not fiction. You'll want to present the truth and facts in a compelling, entertaining, and memorable ways so that others will be inspired to read your story. To write any of these forms of creative nonfiction, You have many techniques to choose from, such as scene, summary, and personal reflections. The theme of the text is what the author trying to convey. In other words, the central idea of the text. The plot is simply what happens in the story, and order of the story's events. The moral is the lesson that the writer wants the main character to learn. So class, there are some common themes in text. So they are love, war, revenge, betrayal, patriotism, race, isolation, motherhood, forgiveness, wartime, loss, treachery, appearance versus reality, rich versus poor, and help other worldly powers. To identify the theme, be sure that you've first identified the story's plot. The way the story uses characterization and the primary conflict in the story. In creative nonfiction, in the other hand, theme is the subject or the topic of a given text. Before we end this, here's the exercises. Thank you for watching and see you for our next lesson on creative nonfiction.